almost impossible. Nobody believes that I built this in 2.5 years. And then when they realize you built it in 2.5 years of the pandemic, it's like, how in the world did you do it? My first title was...
Bukod dito sa, well, if you don't have the money, let's say.
It's free to visit. You're welcome to walk through our beautiful lobby of the Philly Hotel, take pictures, take selfies. You know, you can eat at Il Primo, you can eat at Fina, Sintianti, or of course the world famous Mott 32, which, you know, for the first time in my life, people are texting me for restaurant reservations. I never thought that day would come. Every week, I get maybe 2 texts na FDG.
Ang hirap mag-reserve. Parang baka pwede akong isingit, ganon.
No, hindi sila makakuha ng table.
Ayun na nga.
Yeah. So, I have to send a message, please accommodate this party of 6, this party of 8, etc., etc. Because it's hard to get a booking.
Ikaw pala dapat ang ma-text.
No, I'll give you, I'll publicly announce another number.
Wow, that must be, for you, the mark of success. I mean, initial, yeah.
I never thought I'd see the day when people are texting me to get a restaurant reservation, right? So, to me, that's anecdotal, but that shows you how
yeah,
everybody's
How
looking
attractive
how
it is.
attractive it is. Yeah.
People fly in from Manila just to eat.
That's right. They even stay overnight, and then they eat at Mott, and then they fly back. Or they eat at Mott, they stay overnight, and then they fly back. Because of the pandemic, people have learned also to appreciate life or to enjoy life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so part of enjoying life is eating out, experiencing.
Kung Cebuano ka at medyo may kakuriputan ng konti, you will part with your money.
I certainly hope so. Here we call it tihik. Tihik is kuripot in Bisaya. Kuripot. So
totoo ba yun? Na medyo...
As a Cebuano?
Yeah.
Yes. You know, the Cebuanos are proud to be tihik. They're proud that they're very wise in spending their hard-earned money. So it is a challenge, I think, to convince the market to spend more money. But I think, you know, the Cebuanos are also like everywhere else in the world. As the economy progresses, as consumer spending improves, or as wealth generally, as wealth
incomes improve,
increases, as income increases, consumer spending is also on the rise.
When was the decision made to go into gaming?
I think it was made sometime in 2016, 2017. Yeah, that was...
Specifically, Cebu as the landmark, the first, shall I say, outlet or casino.
That's right. Because I think at that point in time, there were already 4 integrated resorts in Manila. And there were probably around 7 or 8 integrated resort licenses in Clark. So I think the natural choice outside of, I guess, Metro Manila and Clark would be Cebu.
So when you made the decision in 2016, how did that come about? Was it your vision? Did you have to sell it to the board, to JG Summit?
That's a really long story.
Oh, really?
That's a really long story.
Because, well, gaming is, how shall I say? It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not a business for everyone.
Yeah. It's a really long story. Let me see if I can make a long story as short as possible. I think when the 4 integrated resort licenses in Manila were granted, we were actually also offered. But at that time, we were not ready. So...
why? In terms of what?
In your own words, it wasn't exactly a natural...
It wasn't appealing.
It's not a natural
fit
segment that you just decide to go into. No, it's a new industry. It's very unique. So certain skills and certain resources are needed to operate a gaming facility. We passed on the opportunity, and then as time went by, we of course noted that places like Singapore issued 2 licenses, no? Marina Bay Sands and Resorts World Sentosa, and so that opened our eyes. So when Singapore issued these 2 licenses, it opened our mind to the possibility of going into gaming. And then in 2016, 2017, when there was an opportunity to open an integrated resort here in Cebu, we grabbed the opportunity. And to answer your question, I needed to secure the approval of Lance. You know, Lance is the person who approved this project, so he should get all the credit for having the foresight to approve this project.
You should get the credit for proposing it.
Okay, I get part of the credit. We're really proud that we were able to build this in 2.5 years. I think by any global standard, you cannot build a facility this big and this beautiful in 2.5 years. I don't think it's been done anywhere. And we built it in 2.5 years of the pandemic. So you came here in January of 2020, all you would see is the ground. And by March 2020, we had a pandemic. No, by March 2020, we had a COVID pandemic. That's just 2 months after. And we built this in the heart of the pandemic. And to answer your question, thankfully, Lance supported the project all the way. No? So I did get that question. I believe sometime, I think April or May, the team was asking me whether tuloy ba, right? Because everybody was announcing closure, suspension of projects and all of that. And thankfully, since I got the support, our answer was yes, tuloy na tuloy.
How did you manage to do that?
That's an excellent question. So what we basically did here was we housed the workers. So, you know, because every time you go out and in, you have to be quarantined.
Yeah.
So the solution was don't go out. just be quartered inside. And they had an area where their food would be delivered, so that it's like a, you know, there's like a sanitation protocol,
So it was
right?
like a bubble here.
It's like a bubble, exactly. So the workers, in fact, preferred that because they're safe.
Yeah.
They're inside. So if you were coming from the outside, coming into the construction site, you'd have to quarantine before you can join the rest of the crew. But if you were inside now, you're already considered safe.
Yeah. But you devised other means, other systems to enable the construction of this huge. How big is this right now? That
It's about 300,000 square meters.
wow.
The strategy we employed to be able to build this in record time was to really work and collaborate with a lot of people. So, for example, if you come into the facility, you'll probably see open today 6 food and beverage outlets. So what we did was we didn't hire one designer for all 6, right? So we'd hire multiple designers so that all the work could be done simultaneously, thereby cutting down time and making it more efficient. So that's one of the strategies we employed. The same is true for the contractors. So for example, the contractor who did Il Primo is different from the contractor who did Mott 32, is different from the contractor who did the hotel, the casino floor, etc., etc. So we divided the work.
How tough was that? You had to orchestra. You were the conductor of this whole orchestra.
I had very good people. I'd like to give a lot of credit to our in-house construction management team. I think they did an excellent job. It's really, you know, I said it in my opening speech, that what we have done here, what we built here is like short of a miracle. And I think that, you know, God was with us the whole time. I said that in my opening speech.
Why? Why did you feel that?
You know, it's almost impossible. Nobody believes that I built this in 2.5 years. And then when they realize you built it in 2.5 years of the pandemic, it's like, how in the world did you do it?
Getting supplies in.
Yeah, logistics was a challenge.
Yeah.
Finding workers was a challenge. Everything was a challenge, you know, and we went through so much. There was even this typhoon Odette that hit Cebu. So actually my heart sank when Typhoon Odette hit Cebu and I visited the site. I saw all the broken glass. You know, we have all these towers, right? And all the glass were broken, doors were shattered, roof pieces were flying all over the place, equipment were damaged, leaks everywhere. So I told my guys, you know what, you've done a super job here. If we can't open, I completely understand. And
what was your target date?
We were going for January, February of this year, 2022. And then my guys just said, sir, give us 30 days, if I recall correct. He said, I'll give you a report in 30 days.
To assess the damage?
Yeah, to assess the damage and the replacement parts, if we can really do it. And the good news was, after 30 days, sir, we can do it. So we are where we are today. They did a really fantastic job.
I think what you accomplished here is a reflection of how you work as a CEO. Because how many divisions are there in Robinson's Land? I mean, how many segments are you in?
Okay, we're in basically 7 Seven.
Okay,
Seven.
can you name each
So we have malls, offices, hotels and resorts, residential condominiums, residential horizontal residential homes, industrial estates, and integrated developments. And for a while we had business in China, but we're winding that down now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, we have a big project in Chengdu, Sichuan province in China.
But isn't that where a big chunk of your profit for 2022 is from?
That's right. A big chunk of our profits in 2021 and 2022 came from China, but it will stop there. So we've recognized the profit from Chengdu in those 2 years, and then in 2023 we're complete.
No other opportunities that you see in China?
We've decided not to pursue China projects anymore after this Chengdu project. But we did very well. We did extremely well. But I think at the end of the day, we decided to just focus on the Philippines, not just to focus on the many opportunities to build here in the Philippines. So not to be distracted anymore and to go overseas.
Spend your money here.
That's right. Invest our money here.
Yeah, invest here. Rather, put your capital in our homeland.
In our home country, yes.
Let's go back to the days when Robinson's Land was starting. What's your, memory? What was your title?
When I joined Robinson's Land, that was back in 1992.
What was your job description?
Okay, my first title was Corporate Project Development Manager.
Corporate project. Anong ginagawa?
Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ang ibig sabihin nun is, in the words of my uncle then, you find your own projects because I have nothing for you to do. You find your own projects and you find your own project to build. So my first project was to buy land in Bacolod, and we built a mall in Bacolod we opened in 1995. So that was my first
Is this a mall where Mang Inasal started, no?
No, that's Iloilo.
That's Iloilo. But also in your mall?
Yes. The first Mang Inasal was built in Robinson's Place, Iloilo.
Imagine.
Yeah. We've been the birthplace of many fashion brands, retail brands, that are now national icons that started with Robinson.
What, were you given carte blanche to spend money? Meron bang?
Back then wala namang pera.
So magkano? You mean mura lang yung pagkabili dun sa Bacolod?
Well, I remember, if you want the facts, I know exactly Bacolod. We bought it for 3,000 pesos per square meter.
Okay.
That was the first property I bought. And I guess back then you could say mura.
What was the thinking?
Bacolod? Okay, I can also tell you that, when I was looking at the various provinces in the country, Negros, for some reason, had the largest population in the country. I think they were practically tied with Pangasinan. And if my memory is right, it was 2.2 million people in Negros and in Pangasinan. So I like Bacolod. City of smiles, people are friendly, food is good.
Lots of people, lots of customers.
Yes, no mall. And I like Bacolod. It's a very friendly city.
So yun ang una mong project.
Yes.
Okay. What were the projects then? As you said, parang wala, no? I mean, virtually zero.
Well, back then, Robinson's Land had 5 assets. Exactly 5. So it had the Galleria Mall, the old Ermita Manila Mall. We had the old warehouse structure on Pioneer.
That's still there, right?
That's now Forum that we just knocked down also. And then we had 2 properties, one in Dagupan, Pangasinan, and one in Cainta, Rizal. So I sold the Cainta, Rizal property, and I sold the Dagupan, Pangasinan property. So out of that original asset pool, we have 3. And all 3 you will not recognize because Galleria has been redeveloped and renovated multiple times. Manila has been redeveloped as well. And Forum has been built and demolished. And now we're building a new project there in Forum.
So the strategy was looking for land which you could develop. What was the strategy?
You know, I was 22 years old, and
Wow.
and we were just getting started, right? So it was really find a project, find something to do. So
It was that broad.
yeah. So my first job was just traveling the country looking for land. So I think I've traveled around the Philippines more than 99.9% of the population because I've really gone around.
Scoured.
Yeah. So today we have like 53 malls, you know, all over the country, from as far north as Tuguegarao and as far south as General Santos City. We have malls in these places.
You're pioneering in a lot of, small economies.
Yeah, we're a prime mover in so many places. There's so many places in our country that we are the only mall. And like Bacolod, for example, when we opened the mall in Bacolod, we were the first and only mall for a long time before the other national players came in. We like to be a prime mover. We want to be a first mover. We like doing that, and it gives me a lot of gratification to know that we've really, uplifted the lives of communities in those areas that were previously underserved.
What's the meaning to a small community? Maybe you're opening in Gapan, right?
Yes.
Of having a mall. What is the multiplier effect?
First of all, the intangibles is the people there now have the confidence. It's like we've arrived, right? We're now on the map because there's a Robinson's Mall. Yeah? Otherwise, they would not have had, say, cinemas. They would not have had modern-day supermarkets. They wouldn't have had access to modern-day conveniences that we all have here in, or say, in Metro Manila or in Metro Cebu, right? So the intangibles are really something. On the multiplier effect, I don't know how to measure that, but obviously we provide a lot of employment. We provide a lot of avenues for consumption. The modern day retail trade, really multiplies the business activity in the place. Not to mention the real estate taxes, the business taxes, the opportunities for local merchants to operate world-class shops and restaurants.
But if you're a first mover, syempre it's a risk eh.
It is.
Diba? Kasi baka wala namang purchasing power yung population. So have there been any decisions that have gone that were not right or that you regret maybe parang
yeah, maybe
parang ang tagal ng return, diba?
Yeah, maybe in some places the timing might have been a bit early, but over time it cures itself. So maybe sometimes we're a bit early into a locality, but over time it improves.
So cite those places like masyadong madami.
No naman, but
okay, Bacolod.
No, Bacolod was good.
Yeah.
From the first day we opened, we did well.
Okay.
There are some places that that didn't do so well at the start, but it improves over time. Maybe if you really want an example, for example, Pangasinan. When we first opened, we're not in Dagupan, we're in Calasiao, at the border of Dagupan. And when we first opened it, the mall wasn't very successful. But today, wow, it's a very successful mall. It's doing extremely well. You have stores there that took up space and now wants more space. Yeah. So now we are building the expansion of Calasiao this year, next year. We're constructing the expansion. So if you go back many years ago when we started, it's like, oh no, we built this too early. Now we need to expand the mall.
Okay, so in the end, I mean, it kind of is justified.
Oh, for sure. In fact, now the commercial centers business unit are the ones who asked for the expansion.
It's a homegrown brand. It's It's all about distinct Filipino luxury. It's a brand that the country should be proud of. We have ambitions to grow this brand both in the Philippines and internationally. We're building the DNA for our brand, from which we can expand. You see these regional brands that have grown very strong.
Yeah.
Strong
And it's
brand
time
recall,
for the
and
Philippines.
it's time for the Philippines to develop this brand. Right? You know, and those countries I work, and you know, other countries like in Dubai or in Hong Kong cities, the best workers are from the Philippines.
When you started as corporate project manager, was there a track for you to become CEO?
No,
Really?
no, absolutely none.
You're a member of the family.
Yes,
So-
but absolutely none. When I joined Robinson's Land, I took a pay cut.
You say that you take great fulfillment in the impact that, for instance, what you were saying, have on the Filipinos. Can you elaborate?
When you attend a grand opening ceremony, you know, the usual thing happens. You cut the ribbon, you sit
Sanay na
down,
sanay ka na.
you watch the show. So it's like it's work.
Yeah.
But when you see the kids go up and down the escalators for the first time in their life, they've never seen an escalator. And now you see the kids just go up, then they go down, then they go up, then they go down, like, you know, multiple times. And you know,
The joy.
yeah, the joy, the discovery, you know, it's really for the community. It's like, oh, they would not have had this opportunity if we didn't build this, right? And you can just imagine before they didn't even have cinemas, for example. So when people talk about movies,
Hindi nila alam.
they can't watch it because there are no cinemas. And so it's really a prime mover thing. No? There are challenges, obviously, to doing these, but it gives you gratification to know that you've really, you know, contributed something to the community. And usually the local government officials, you know, they're very thankful, they're very grateful that you're able to bring modern day conveniences, modern day amenities to them. They're really appreciative and you feel it.
Is that the best part of your job? What do you enjoy most about your job?
It's that, and I guess when people who have worked with you for a long time express their appreciation or their gratitude for what you've done to their lives, not just their professional life, but that you made a difference in their life.
Their families,
Yeah.
in maybe giving them some
Ay.
prosperity.
Yeah, you know, actually, you know, like when you get Christmas gift cards. So like if it says, example line just says, "Dear Frederick, happy holidays." Those, they probably just get discarded together with the wrappers.
Yeah.
But when I get a card that has a special message, I keep those. I actually keep those. So
And you must have a lot.
I don't know if it's a lot. I haven't really.
So you're a
reread them.
sentimental person pala.
Well, I keep those. I keep those. No, kasi for me, those are the intangibles. Those
That's
are
the meaning of why I suppose you stay up till 2 a.m. attending meetings, diba?
Yeah.
I mean, if you really have to dig deep into
Yeah.
why you're doing what you're doing,
Yeah,
that's it.
that's it. That's it.
When you started as, ano ba yun? Corporate project manager?
Corporate Project Development Manager.
Mahaba talaga. Pag mahaba yung title, parang pinapa-impress ka. Was there a track for you to become CEO?
No,
Really?
no, absolutely none.
You're a member of the family.
Yes,
So-
but absolutely none. When I joined Robinson's Land, I took a pay cut.
Oh?
I took a pay cut.
From your job as a journalist, may pay cut pa ba yun?
No, you know why?
Okay.
I moved kasi from being a journalist for a year to the business side of the paper. for 2 years. So I worked in Manila Times for 3 years. So by that time, I was doing so well. I was earning a lot of commissions from sales.
Advertising.
From advertising. So I took a pay cut to join
Magaling
Robinson's
ka rin
Land.
palang salesman.
Ha? Di ko alam. Wala pa akong nabibenta sa'yo eh.
So, pay cut pa. Oh,
I took a
then,
pay
but
cut.
why did you do it?
It was because I believed that I would do well and that I would be able to prove my worth. It was something like, how do I say this? I guess I had the confidence that I would be able to prove my worth, and I guess earn back what got cut.
More than enough. Look naman where we are. There's such a thing as revenge spending, revenge eating. Are you feeling that?
Yeah, our malls are certainly feeling that. No, in our malls, the food sales, for example, are way above pre-pandemic levels already. All the restaurants, the casual dinings, the sit-down fast foods, and the fast food outlets are all above pre-pandemic levels. So all our Robinsons malls are experiencing that phenomenon, and I think it's reflective of the revenge eating or the revenge spending you mentioned. People just miss going out, they miss eating out, and you know, we really just want to do our share in helping our lives get back to normal. In fact, in the office or in reports, I was just talking about this yesterday in our investors call, that we will stop referring now to the pre-pandemic levels or the pandemic levels, because I think we're really past that already. Our mall sales, our mall rentals are all above 2019 levels already. So I think it's about time we stop referring to that.
You should not compare earnings, for instance, to 2019.
We did, just to say that we're already above 2019. And after that, let's move on with our lives rather than keep referring to the past. And I think it will help us, you know, move along and move forward in life.
Robinson's Land was not seen as a property development. I mean, you had to build the reputation.
Struggles a lot. Of course, everything we built was parang brand new, no? We built Robinson's Land from scratch.
Yeah.
So,
as in wala.
But you know, that's the thrill eh. That's the part that you enjoy. I always say that the best part of my job is building something from nothing. Which is actually the attraction to me why I joined Robinson's Land. Because I had an opportunity to build something of my own creation. You know, something that from scratch.
This is called the Strip, and in here will be a string of signature restaurants, both internally operated and tenant managed and owned. Eventually, we'll have our mall, which is going to be, again, a first to market here in Cebu, because that will actually host a lot of coveted luxury brands. To complement the whole property, we will have a performing arts theater, which is going to be the first here in Cebu. Where will that be? It's going to be on this side of the property, so it's, you know, like high-tech. It's a proper performing arts theater, which is, I think, just due of Cebu, because they're already propped for it.
The great part about Cebu is that it has got so much to offer. It's got, you know, it's got the resorts, it's got the water, the mountains. It's such a pristine and sort of great place for people to come, as opposed to Manila, which is, you know, a little bit more of, you know, big city, lots of traffic, things like that. I believe it's still going to be a very high percentage of locals, but we might get up to around about 20–25% of international visitors.
Part of those you want to attract are the high rollers, right? Those who really are into gaming.
Yes.
Will they come, you think? Here?
Yes, we are seeing them come already.
How do you relax? What mentored you?
it would have to be my two uncles, Mr. John and Mr. James. They were the ones who were directly or indirectly running the business when I started. I mean, they were the bosses. You can't teach vision, but I guess you can observe vision. And Mr. John really was the visionary, the inspiration. From Mr. James, it was the operational excellence, the making sure that everything was executed properly, you know, always following a certain level of logic or practicality.
Mr. John saw the forest. Tama ba? And it's Mr. James who would see the trees?
You could say that. That's
So sa inyo ni Lance, how would you characterize the relationship?
well, he's the boss,
Okay.
clearly. He handles the whole Gokongwei group, right? So I just have a small part of the Gokongwei group, which is Robinson's Land, or the property side, the property businesses.
The share of Robinson's Land to the bottom line of the companies, how big?
We're a significant part of the group in terms of contribution to EBITDA or in terms of contribution to earnings.
But in terms of the touch point to the consumer, no, your division, Robinson's Land, has a very close affinity to the consumer.
Yes, because of the malls. They're really for the entire community, and we cater to all walks of life. So I think the development of our brand, the development of our reputation or image throughout the Philippines is greatly influenced by the performance of Robinson's malls. Or probably the first, if I'm not mistaken, or certainly the flagship PPP project under the Duterte administration, the privatization of Clark Airport's operations.
Okay.
So under JG Summit Infrastructure, we joined a consortium to bid for Clark, and we were successful. So now we operate the Clark International Airport.
How do you see us in the next 5 years?
The Philippine economy really is one of the fastest rising economies in Asia or in the world. No? And I think the current administration, the BBM administration, has so many plans to really support the economy. The president has mentioned in numerous public speeches that he supports the public-private partnership business model. So I think this is really one catalyst that can really boost our economy.
What is the potential in tourism?
I think the country's potential for tourism is limitless. There's a lot of opportunity there.
Yan din yung mataas ang multiplier effect.
Yes, yes. Tourism has one of the highest multiplier effects to an economy.
You know, we could change places here. You could be the journalist. Diba? What made you try out that field for a while?
Journalism.
Yeah.
No, because when I was in school, in college, in Ateneo, I was the editor-in-chief of the Gaidon, which is the Ateneo school paper. So when Mr. John bought the Manila Times, I think for some reason he thought I was a journalist. So he said, I just bought the Manila Times. I want you to work there. So me being the good
dutiful nephew,
I just said yes. I didn't have the heart to tell him, huh? I think I want to be in business.
Oh, but how was that for you? How was that stint?
Oh,
and
it
what
was
did
wonderful.
you cover? Really?
I enjoyed every bit of it. I still miss it to this day. I covered corporate news, Philippine Stock Exchange, at the time Manila Makati Stock Exchange pa yun, no? And the SEC.
So how was that for you? You were waiting for all the disclosures,
Yeah.
tumatambay ka sa beat?
Yeah, we would hang out the SEC. This poor executive director, Ediher Martinez was his name. I still remember. We would just invade his room.
You would harass for
We would
for
harass
information.
him the whole day. I don't know how he had the patience to have a pool of these reporters just hanging out in his office.
Yeah.
No, But I made lasting friendships, and I really had a wonderful time.
So does that explain why you have such good press?
I'd like to think no, not because of that, but because we're doing the right things, because we're trying to be a good corporate citizen.
What distinguishes what you're doing in your corporate social responsibility efforts and being a sustainable company or a green company?
First, we're known as the company that pioneered putting solar panels on the rooftops of our malls. The second one would be our LEED or Verde or EDGE certifications for our buildings. No? So we've made a decision that all our office buildings going forward will be green certified, either by LEED, Verde, or EDGE. So that's part of our commitment to the environment. No? The third point I just wanted to say is that I think about 2 years ago, we formed the Robinson's Land Foundation. So that's part of our, shall we say, commitment to supporting the community, society, especially where we operate in. We want to be able to be a partner in helping those who need help in the communities we serve. Creating Robinson's Land Foundation was my idea. And so we formed an entirely separate organization within Robinson's Land to run this foundation. And I personally approve every effort they have. So I'm very aware of
You're very hands-on.
As far as the foundation is concerned, yes.
How do you manage all these?
We have good people. We have very good business unit heads as well as corporate center heads in the organization that I manage. And I guess I micromanage only on specific areas that are important to me.
Like
building New Star.
Yeah.
Building New Star, I took a very active part in this. But for most of our businesses, the leaders of the businesses generally run it.
You have complete trust in them.
I have trust and confidence in their abilities, but of course, like any other large organization, we have structures and policies to help protect the integrity of the process.
How do you relax? Kasi this is I'm sure, a very stressful job. Overseeing how many employees?
Well, I think combined we probably have about 7,000-8,000.
Hindi ka naman mukhang tumatanda.
Daya lang yan.
So,
well,
during the pandemic, mental health became very, pronounced as an issue.
So I have two answers. One is badminton, and the second one is wine.
Oh, do you collect? How do you go about your, appreciating wine?
I like wine, and I like to share a bottle with good friends and relax. It's really a means to socialize and to relax, to unwind. I think it's very important. No, otherwise, as they say here in Cebu, mabubuang ka.
Pero ikaw kasi parang when you take on something, you really kind of study it. So do you go as far as the vintages, the grape varieties, ganon?
Okay, I'm very knowledgeable in wine.
Ayun. Oh my God.
Yeah, I've
so
visited
nakaka-nervous
the
ka bang
vineyards.
kasama? Do you go into a whole lecture about this one?
No. I'm very knowledgeable, but I won't bore you about wine.
But you've gone around.
I've visited all the major wine-making regions in the world. I like old wines. So, if you can find the 1970s, 1980s bottle.
Or the year you were born, maybe.
Unfortunately, that wasn't a very good year.
Oh, it wasn't. In terms of wine.
In terms of wine.
Let's be specific.
In terms of wine. I'm really not maarte with wines. It's really something, it's just a means to have a great conversation, to have a relaxed evening with friends.
And that's how you keep your sanity. That is something that CEOs now have to grapple with, no? Because of the many stresses, especially with the 2.5 years that just passed.
One of my favorite prayers is the serenity prayer, right? Where you pray to God to give you the serenity to accept the outcomes of things you cannot change, and the courage to do things that you can change, and the wisdom to tell the difference. You know, it's really, it makes a world of difference if you're trying to change something that you cannot, right? You'll, as they say again in Bisaya, mabubuang ka. I'm sure that if you meet people who worked with me 30 years ago, they'll probably say, I was like a bull in a china shop or something like that. But I guess
in a hurry.
Yeah, in a hurry talaga. Man in a hurry. But as you become older, I guess you become wiser.
And also, congratulate yourself because you've come a long way, no?
Thank you. There's this saying also that goes, the smart ones learn from their mistakes, but the geniuses learn from other people's mistakes.
In your company, is there a retirement age that's fixed?
The policy compels retirement at 60.
Oh, malayo ka pa dyan.
Malayo pa.
But what do you intend to accomplish before, before that time comes?
Nako, one step at a time.
You're not
let's make New Star profitable first.
Well, what's your target? What year are you looking at to make this profitable?
As I pray to God, I want the serenity to accept the outcomes I cannot change. No, but it's really a lot of the success of New Star is dependent on international tourism coming back to Cebu, and domestic tourism coming back to Cebu. I cannot understate the importance of tourism coming back to Cebu.
I heard from a little bird that you love art. Yeah. So how do you go about, appreciating and probably collecting those that appeal to you? What's your guidepost?
Buy what you like, and I guess if you're buying something expensive, then you have to do a bit of research. So I guess
Parang business din.
You have to educate yourself. If you're gonna buy something of substantial value, you have to attend art fairs. I guess research on them. Read up. Talk to people who are more knowledgeable than you on the matter. But if you're buying recreational art, then just buy what you like, buy what you love. But if you're buying something expensive, then you really have to just do your research first.
So it's really your influence also that has led to the acquisition of art for your properties, your building, your office buildings, etc.
That's right. We're quite proud. No, we will probably have 2 areas where we will have a lot of beautiful art. The first one's in Bridgetown, in Quezon City. In Bridgetown, we have several buildings there now: the Giga Tower, Terra, Exa, Zeta Towers, and in those lobbies there, you will see big, beautiful art by known artists. And then here at New Star, we also will adorn our walls here with beautiful art.
Wow, so that's exciting also for you because
very, very. I get OC.
With art?
With art.
What are your dreams for your family? You have 2 children. Are you going to, will they join, the company? There's always a place for a go.
There's certainly no assurance for them that they will have a job. I think in the group they'll have to earn their job. I love my 2 daughters very much, and I just want them to be happy in life. Of course, I want them to be successful in life as well, in whatever field they choose. But they know that very well. I've never pressured them. I've never even asked them how their grades are.
Really?
Never, never.
Alam mo, some they say that's a problem when you're medyo third or fourth generation na, because, you know, Mr. John, for instance, he really had to start everything. They were very poor, no? He had poor beginnings, humble beginnings, tama ba? While you, medyo, your children are very comfortable na. How do you keep that energy, that drive alive in your offspring?
Well, the only thing I can probably do is show them what I do and hope that they're proud of and happy with what I do. I really leave it up to them. As long as they're happy, I'm happy.
Frederick Go is betting big on Cebu. His multi-billion peso foray into gaming and hospitality is founded on his confidence on the potential of the country's tourism industry. He's also putting all his chips in on New Star and Philly. Tumataya siya sa kakayanan ng mga Pilipino na makipagsabayan sa mga tanyag na pangalan sa larangan ng mga hotel at resort sa buong mundo. Ako po si Ces Oreña-Drilon. Maraming salamat sa inyong panonood sa Usapang Bilyonaryo.